Hey, send me letters. I love them. The source at sunmedia.ca. Here's the first one, and it's about that licensing of journalist things. It goes like this. Not too long ago, Barbara Hall floated the same idea, only under the rubric of human rights. So you know the idea has some traction. A good point. I remember that now. But my favorite part of this whole licensing journalist thing is that Christine St. Pierre, the Quebec minister, said that registered journalists would get enhanced access to government information, which just shows you that she thinks a journalist's role is to be a stenographer for the government and write official news. Gross. Here's our next letter from Jack Hool, who says, "Good luck on your mission, Ezra, in trying to privatize the CBC. But what makes you think the employees of the CBC are willing to give up their pensions for you?" Well, that would definitely impact the value of the company. You're right. But why should the CBC's rich pensions be sacrosanct? No one else's are in the private sector. Even the Canadian auto workers had to take a bit of a haircut when their company went sideways. Here's an incoming email from Malcolm R., who says, "While watching the CBC segment, I felt like you were entering the Stasi headquarters." That was the secret police in East Germany. Well, I wouldn't go that far, although their security boss had a terrifying thing going on with his iPod earphones and his dark jacket, dark shirt combo. So more the Matrix than the Stasi, but without Keanu Reeves' persuasive acting. Here's a letter from Ed S. in Toronto, who says, "The CN Tower and orange lights for Jack." What? You callous man. Don't you love the children? Goodbye, Toronto's rose, though we never knew you at all. I have been having my own vigil. Barry L. is next with his letter, who says, "I'm apprehensive about how much Harper has relegated the traditional perception of a state funeral. Will we deviate so far as to someday have state funerals for Joey Homeless and or Sally Porn Star?" Well, we don't need to go that far. How about one for, I don't know, one day he might pass away, Lucien Bouchard? How about Brian Mulroney? How about Preston Manning? What is the new standard when any man passes away, including such an affable fellow like Jack Layton? There is a moment for sorrow and grieving, but a national state funeral? I don't know. Here's a Twitter tweet from Wally T, who says, "Have they bestowed Layton with sainthood yet?" I read that he actually scripted his funeral along with his political advisors. That's in the papers today. I think that's a little creepy, sorry. Here's another tweet from No Lore, who says, "Ezra Levant is the best argument I can think of for why we must stop childhood bullying." Really? Well, then why do you keep hurting my feelings, mister? Oh, folks, that's it for the letters today. Tweet me on twitter.com/Ezra Levant if you want to chime in. And coming up, I heard a rumor that a package from the CBC is on the way to me. If it's true, what could it be? Stick around to find out on Source. Hey, you know, the other day when I was at the CBC Sanctum Sanctorum, their underground bunker-hardened place with all those security guards, well, I remarked in passing that I actually really love one of the CBC shows. It's called The Republic of Doyle. It's set in St. John's, and really St. John's itself, that beautiful city, is the star, but there's great, I love the show. And there were so many people listening and taping and roughing me up. I guess someone reported this to their executive director, Christine Stewart, who sent me a tweet saying, "Ezra, fancy stuff on your way." That's Christine right now. And it is true. Bring it on in. Dan has here a super gigantic poster that Christine Stewart, the executive VP of CBC, sent me with a little note that said compliments of Christine Stewart. And let's check this thing out. This is a monster poster. Help me out, fellas. Help me out, fellas. A huge poster of the Republic of Doyle. I love the show, but I got to tell you, there's just no, and I'm going to definitely hang this up, but I cannot accept such an enormous gift from the taxpayers of Canada for free. Aaron, come over here. I want to send, I've already filled this out, I have a check, a personal check for $100. As you can see, it's made out to the CBC, and we're going to send this over because I love the gift. I love Republic of Doyle. I enjoy watching it, but I'm just not going to take a gift from the government because it would not just be a waste of taxpayers' money, but it would also impede my independence. And Aaron, I have a gift in return. It's called Shakedown. It's a private book that I wrote myself. It is a true gift from me to the government broadcaster about the importance of freedom of speech. Folks, you're watching The Source. It's a show about freedom. We're not shy about saying we love programming on the CBC. Thanks. Take it away, fellas. Let me close up for a minute here by saying this. My beef with the CBC is not with any particular show. Republican Oil, great show. There's other great stuff on that network. I mean, I do watch it from time to time, obviously. My beef is not with any particular person at the CBC, even though it might sometimes seem that way. My beef is the fact that the CBC is an arm of the government. It's not even the $1.1 billion a year, although that's a pain in the neck, and I think it's an unfair competition to private broadcasters with us. I think that the biggest problem with the CBC is that it is owned by the government, controlled by the government, and thus it is infected by the government's mentality. Sometimes it's overt, like when they yanked Terry Milewski off a story that was embarrassing to Prime Minister Jean Chrétien. The PMO literally called up the CBC and said, "You take that reporter off the case." Sometimes it's outrageous like that, but much more often it's subtle. A government mentality, a bureaucratic mentality, a union mentality, a sluggish mentality, a statist mentality. Set the CBC free. Save the CBC from the government. Privatize the CBC. We're going to rerun that CBC special. We're doing it for you, Christine. Thanks for the gift, but really, taxpayers thank you for the gift. Bye-bye.